Digitizing wildlife is an important step towards developing interactive virtual museums. Such wildlife repositories will allow people, through virtual immersiveness, to come closer to nature through observing and understanding animal movements. Here, we present the case of the Cyprus 3D Reptile Museum, providing detailed description of the pipeline and methods used for easy replicability. Current approaches for documenting and visualizing animals are limited to high-quality images, while their movements are recorded, presented, and studied via video recordings. The development of 3D photogrammetry has also allowed the creation of realistically accurate, but towards size and coloration, 3D animal models to be archived into digital repositories. However, this process, despite being fascinating and extremely helpful for research and educational purposes, lacks in terms of capturing and reproducing animals' realistic movements and behaviors. In general, animal movements are difficult to be captured in 3D. In the past, animals that are easy to control and train, such as dogs, have been successfully motion captured, while human actors have been hired to imitate other more exotic animal behaviors. This is not possible, though, for smaller animals, such as insects and reptiles. Their motions are generated through keyframing or simulations based on biomechanical constraints and advanced constant self-training algorithms. Over the last decade, a number of research institutes and initiatives are developing repositories that store and document realistic avatars of wild animals through 3D photogrammetry, or use low-resolution sensors to analyze the animal's behaviors. However, regardless of their high mesh reconstruction accuracy, these models lack motion. In this work, we present the pipeline to holistically document and portray in high resolution and realism reptiles, enabling the development of highly immersive and interactive applications. Our ultimate target, though, is to pave the way for the design of the first digital 3D museum that stores animated reptile models. In that way, we have designed a database schema with all necessary metadata information sufficient for driving further studies from both the biology and graphics perspective. Our work starts with collecting live animals and utilizing a rotating multi-camera system in collaboration with the team of Digital Life to capture a large amount of still pictures from various angles. Using photogrammetry, we reconstructed an accurate mesh of the animal's body. The animal's skin coloration, texture, and embossing normals are then added to the models, resulting to a realistic and accurate 3D representation of the animal. These models are then rigged and skinned so we can later add movements to their articulated parts. To enable motion capturing of the animals, we attached small reflective markers at strategic positions on their bodies and an MIU device on each reptile. For the lizard, we used a total of 17 facial markers, and for the snake, we used 12 medium-sized markers. We then released the reptiles in an enclosure setup that is surrounded with 12 motion capture cameras and 4 high-definition RGB vision cameras. All captured data are manually synchronized and labeled based on the animal's behavior. In contrast to human motion capturing, where vast research on human animation has resulted in standard pipelines, processing motion capture data for reptiles is not trivial. In this work, we manually process the data, including markers labeling and cleaning up, dealing with missing data and filling gaps, marker swapping, and baking animation. We have defined control nodes at key joints to be driven by the motion capture data and enforced spline IK constraints to animate the remaining joints. This is an extremely time-consuming process. Here you can see our results. We provide interactive visualizations of our animated creatures in high resolution in 3D environments and virtual reality. In this example, you can see our reconstructed lizard jumping on a box from many different angles. For better visualization, you can see our models using the Sketchfab application. In this example, we demonstrate our lizard in augmented reality. This enriches the real-life environment seen through a device. For instance, a smartphone camera with a computer-generated perceptual information of the reptile behavior. Our results showcase the animal movements of the reptiles on the right, which are highly realistic and comparable with the natural behaviors captured via video, shown on the left. Here you can see more examples from our lizards and snakes motion reconstruction. Finally, we have designed and developed an online repository, a 3D virtual museum that hosts visualizations of the reptiles in remarkable clarity and realism, aiming to enhance the visitor's experience in terms of information and interaction. It showcases our animated models and a full documentation of the reptile's metadata, including general information about the species and that specific specimen. To further add to the learning experience of the audience, increase the awareness and attract younger generations, we have developed 2 educational tools. The first one is an AR application that visualizes the animal model by directing a mobile phone camera towards a given pattern. The application then identifies the reptile species, augments the corresponding model, and projects it to the surface. The second application is a holographic pyramid that portrays different view angles of the animal in a glass pyramid structure. We would like to acknowledge the financial support and contribution of the following teams and organizations. Thank you for your attention.